Welcome to the second tree update by Anzaro Quantum Healing, where we will be covering the planting of 3,830 trees. My name is Ibo, and I'm the creator and founder of Anzaro Quantum Healing. And we create apps that heal people and plant trees in the process, which this whole tree update is about, is the trees that we have planted. Even though the official counter of trees planted in the My Sleep Affirmation app is not even 600, we still decided to go and plant trees because that's what we really are about. And also to kind of pave the way for the next app that is coming. So like this video, subscribe to our channel to follow up for future apps that we're gonna be releasing. In the first tree update, there was 3,111 trees planted, 3,000 of them through our partner organization Eden Projects and 111 of them in a forest project that I started last year where I'm planting a forest in my grandfather's land in Turkey. In the second tree update, another 3,330 trees were donated to Eden Projects, more specifically in sites in Kenya and Madagascar, which I'm explaining more about in the first tree update, as well as we planted over 500 trees in the land in Turkey through two periods, one in October 2021 and the second batch in July 2020, just a few weeks ago. And with that, we have planted more than 7,000 trees in just 1 year. I mean, it's incredible, this journey that I set out a year ago to do this and to do this offering for the land, and to see where we are right now, just 1 year later. And I can't wait to continue this journey as a lifelong mission to plant millions of trees and make many more apps that will help us plant these trees. And if you haven't tried My Sleep Affirmations, go try it out. It's available both in App Store and Google Play, the first app developed by Anzaro Quantum Healing, which is a very powerful tool to reprogram your subconscious mind, and you'll be able to support this project by planting trees in the process. First batch of trees planted in Turkey was planted by me and the help of my little brother in July 2021. 3 months after that, in October 2021, we went back to Turkey to check up in the forest, and our actions actually created ripples and inspired my dad to help support this project. And he wanted to donate and plant some trees, so I made it in the planner, I lined it up. He wanted to make it nice. He was going to hire the company, a nursery and a crew that was going to do all this, so it wasn't us personally going to have to do all the hard work. So I made the planner and planned how these trees were supposed to be along the wall and along the pathway where the cars go in, the driveway, as well as a little fruit plantation where there was total of 245 trees. The whole process was super smooth. The crew came in, I think 5-6 people, and they look at the plan that we have drawn and we will already give it in beforehand. And they came with this little truck, and then one person was marking the places, the second one was digging the holes, the third one was bringing the trees and putting them down, and the fifth one was closing back the holes, and the other one was then putting some nutrients on the soil, which was like kind of a production or a process which was super smooth. And in just 1 day we managed to complete all this planting for all of these 245 trees that were planted, which you can see kind of really made a nice environment for this forest project to be surrounded in. And also this portion of the fruit plantation, which consists of close to 60 fruit trees with a lot of distance in between for it to grow and provide with all kinds of different fruits. I believe there is 10 different fruit trees, if not more, so it's gonna be really amazing in a few years. We also use this opportunity to just clean up the weeds from the forest part that we planted some weeks before. Due to the heavy irrigation and the watering, it had grown quite a lot. It was quite a tough job, but it managed to be really beautiful in the end. fast forward to June 2022, just 2 months ago, I was planning to go back to Turkey and plant more trees in the Miyawaki forest compartments, which I explained in more details in the first tree update. And these trees are planted in compartments with pathways in between, and the plan is to go every year and plant some more compartments, and everything was planned. And this year it's gonna be a little different. I got inspired with the man work and the process, so we were gonna hire some people to help us. And because of the budget, we were only going to be able to plant somewhere between 100 and 150 trees. And I thought, hey, I can just make like a crowdfunding campaign and invite my friends to donate money, and all the money that was donated would be solely go towards buying the trees so we could plant them, because the logistics, the manpower, and all these other costs of the process was already covered. And with that, I launched a crowdfunding campaign and managed to raise a little bit over $500 from my friends and my network, which made it possible for us to buy 130 more trees in Turkey. So when I arrived in Turkey early July, I called the plant dealer, the nursery guy, which we bought the trees from last year, and I'm like, hey man, I need some trees. And he's like, how many? I'm like, 250 trees. Like, I want more fruit trees this year, and some big trees, some smaller trees, and so on. I explained it to him, and then he's like, I got you fam, I can be there tomorrow. And I'm like, awesome. And then I went back into the planner trying to see how to make these compartments. I wanted to make it a little bit asymmetric to give it kind of elaborate feeling in the future. And then I went out to mark these compartments. And the same day, we called the excavator guy, who comes with this huge machine and then digs out the holes. And he came and he just dig these huge holes. And the plan was then to put the trees in these holes and then fill the holes back up with the soil with some manpower. And the excavator finished really fast. It took him less than 1 hour to dig up all these holes. And the next day, early in the morning, my plant guy, he arrives with this cute little truck full of trees. I help him unload, and as I'm unloading, I'm really getting an understanding, an idea of the work that has to be done, because it was a lot of trees, just seeing all these trees standing there, which was quite overwhelming, because it just made me realize how much work there is, as well as seeing these huge holes, compartments that was dug up. But it was okay. I prayed for the land. I asked for the permission to work with it. I asked for the blessings of my ancestors, which is the whole reason that I'm doing this project in Turkey, is to honor them and is to get their blessings for the projects to come, which is gonna be really awesome. So I was just asking for the land, for the permission, for to make this offering, which is really an offering to the nature and to the land and to the insects and all the animals who's gonna be living there in the future. So after receiving all this stuff, I slowly started preparing the holes. It was just cozy work, just taking out the big sands and evening out the soil. And then the next day we got these two young workers who came to help us with planting or covering back the soil. And they were really good. They were really productive, and my job was to put the trees in this random asymmetric order, and they would then be covering the soil by putting what was dug out back into the pit. And it took us a day. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of moving soil. I was also helping them. I was just running back and forth, bringing the trees, and because it was a lot of trees, and it looked quite nice. And after following that, I spent a few the following days to water them, make sure they would have enough of water, and as well as just trying to clean up the pathways, because there was a lot of soil left, which I didn't account for. So we actually called the excavator guy back to remove it and spread it around. The tree guy brought us a lot of willow trees. I didn't ask specifically for which kind of trees to get, and he brought something like 20 willow trees. And when I looked up what a willow tree is, I was like, wow, these trees are huge. I mean, if I put them in these tight, small compartments, they're gonna block out the light for everyone else. So I didn't put a lot of them in between, just a few. And there was like something like 15 willow trees left, which I thought we could make like a line to cover all the dust coming from the main road, which was just behind these trees. Now, when the trucks were moving back and forth, a lot of dust would come with the wind towards the populated areas where the houses are. So I thought this line of these big leafy willow trees would kind of take in all the dust and make the air more cleaner on the other side. So they were used for that purpose, which the excavator just dug out the holes while he was there to clean the pathways. And what's so funny is that these three compartments that were planted, we received a little bit more than 250 trees. I think he gave 5 trees extra as a gift. But we didn't plant all of them in the compartments. We just were going on the run. It was going so fast. And when I counted at the end of finishing this compartment, there was 222 trees planted, which is funny because it was just the double of what we planted the year before, which was 111. And I don't think that's just a coincidence. I mean, if you're in a high vibrational consciousness, then you don't really believe in coincidences. Everything becomes a synchronicity. And it just was a reminder to show that I'm really going in my path and walking this way. And the remaining trees we would then be used to make another fruit compartment plantation, as well as just planting them around, because yeah, the area is quite huge, so we would just be planting them different places. In total, we received 160 fruit trees, and the reason to plant more fruit trees this year is actually to kind of make an ecosystem in these areas, because the trees will produce fruits which will bring in birds that will eat and drop a beautiful shit into the earth, and which will make it nutrition for the soil, or the fruits will drop and then become food for the worms and the insect living in the soil, who will then give back into the soil. So these fruit trees were planted or ordered in that intention. After setting up the whole pathways, we went back on to work with the irrigation systems. And we wanted to make like an automatic irrigation system, and we had a lot of trees. There was like almost over 600 trees at this moment in this whole field, plus some older trees which was already there before. And we wanted to make a nice working system. So in the compartment area, we put this automatic dripping hose, which had some holes every 40 centimeters, which is a little bit more than a feet, and covered them throughout all the area, and tested them by manually opening the water to see how it will flow, and it will just cover the whole all of the compartment in one go, which was awesome. And now, because there were so many compartments, so many parts, a fruit plantation and a line of willow trees, and so many different parts of this land that actually had so many trees, we wanted to have a nice working system, which I investigated and found this Rainbird control unit, which can control some different valves, and you can program it and it will work in a way so you can set valve number 1 to work simultaneously or just for 1 hour, then valve number 2, and so on, with up to 6 valves that it can control. So we went to the dealer, irrigation dealer, a specialized shop for that, and got this unit and all the material we needed. Came back to the village, ordered a plumber to kind of set up all these units in a very nice way and connected it to the water source. And then I started working with the electricity or electrician work to kind of connect the unit so we can program all these different valves. And for a test, once the first ones were connected and I just run it through, it was such an awesome feeling to know that now that you can just click on a single button or a few buttons to do it and set the line to run for 30 minutes, and then you could hear the water flowing and you would know there would be 150 or 200 trees watering at the same time. But because the compartment was in such an open area, we wanted to move it in this box where the well is connected, so it would be kind of protected from the rain and the wind and the animals. So we called the plumber guy again and he moved it, and then we extend the water line into this box, this metal box, and then reconnect it. In the planner, I made again how to organize the different watering lines, as you can see, to cover all the different trees that was planted or that is planted. And we decided to go with 6 lines, leaving 2 spaces or 2 lines, 2 valves open for future projects, which I have some in mind. And I then set up and programmed everything and then tested it throughout the next days. It was working super smoothly. Just to like wake up one day to see that all the trees have been watered was like such a satisfying feeling, because it was a lot of hard work. We have basically like putting hundreds and hundreds of meters of watering hose, putting all these little sprinklers in every single end, digging them down and covering it, making it smooth. So it was really nice to see the whole thing working automatically, being watered, so we could kind of leave this in a good way and in a care for. And not to mention, the final process of the Miyawaki method is to cover the compartments with a layer of mulch. So we went to find some old hay, which is perfect for this, and just covered the watering hoses with a thick layer of this hay, so it would kind of protect the soil from the harsh sun and keep it moist underneath where the watering is happening. And with that, it looked really awesome. It looked really nice. Some of the tree though has been really stressed out by the whole process, because the environment there is very harsh. The sun is super strong, the wind is strong as well, and dry. So some of the leaves dried out in the plants and the trees that we had planted, which made me kind of sad to see the trees, only the branches left at some of them. But after watching a few days with plenty of water and lots of love, we could see that new leaves, baby leaves, were popping out, which was really nice to see, because that meant, okay, they got a bit stressed, but now they are slowly regrowing, which is amazing. And because we don't live in this village throughout the whole year, we go to visit a few times a year, we made sure to find someone to make sure that everything was running smoothly, the watering unit was going as planned. I just want to use this opportunity also to give a huge thanks for my dad, who have been a big part of this process behind the scenes. First of all, for helping to plant out the trees along the gates, as well as really helping me out throughout the whole process. Because many times I would just stand there in the land and be like so overwhelmed because it's so much work, and it was really testing out my will. And then as I'm working, I just see my dad coming and helping, and I kind of realize where I got this joy and will to work with the land comes from, as I can see that he also really enjoys it. So shout out to my dad, and thank you for being and supporting me. Thank you for watching this tree update, and thank you for following our journey. We are going to plant millions and millions of trees, and these tree updates are just the beginning. So please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more, as we'll also be very soon releasing a very powerful healing app with breath work, with yoga, with energy healing sessions that's also going to plant trees, and it's going to be amazing, and it will be released later this year as it's currently under development. So yeah, please stay tuned. This is all made with an offering to the Mother Earth, to the planet, to the land, you know, to heal, because I really feel the calling of our mother in this really rough times. So I'm dedicated, I'm motivated, and I am full of love, and I'm just sending this love out to you, my beloved, beautiful soul friend, wherever you are. I'm just sending much love to you right now in this time and space, and I wish the best for you. So thank you for watching along, and also a huge thank you for all the contributors for the crowdfunding campaign, which you can see at the credits in the end of this video. Thank you, and stay tuned.